paka paka waka chiki 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 waka paka waka 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 chiki 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 waka paka.
We're here for episode 27, the final four, eviction, and it starts. Nicole and Hardy are talking, and she tells him that she's indifferent about who goes, I guess, and if he's not, that she can make it so that will end up evicting her. Monica said that Nicole wants to get back at Will and win the money, while Hardy, he also wants to get back at Will, and he just wants to win. Monica says that Nicole and Hardy weren't that innocent themselves, and that Will deserves the power position he's got right now. Will finds it important to lie to Nicole this week, so that, because he wants to see her stab Hardy in the back, like she's done. Says that she was responsible for every eviction, and he says that she's stabbing him, she's in the back subtly. She's telling him that she wants to stay, which would be at the expense of Hardy. He says that the positives to keeping Nicole are: 1, he'll get cooked meals every night and he won't have to cook them himself. He said to Shannon that I guess that he'll take care of Hardy at some point. Is this the time to do it? He said that it's one of the biggest decisions he's ever made in his life. It's a decision made on love and money, and at this point, if he was asked to evict someone, it would be Nicole. Monica's segment now. So Hardy viewed her as someone very strong-willed, I guess, since they entered the house at the beginning. Will says that she's played the under-the-radar strategy. She minds her own business, she doesn't make alliances, and doesn't step on people's feet. Monica herself believes the smartest thing that she did was, I suppose, keeping her mouth shut a bit and observing. Hardy himself thinks that that would be why Monica is still here, as perhaps the more outspoken people, they were getting picked off early. Monica said that she thinks that they kept her instead of Krista due to a lack of estimation on her winning probabilities. Hardy himself, or it was Nicole, one of them backed that up. I think it was Hardy. Hardy himself said that he underestimated her. Nicole has a great deal of respect for Monica. Hardy says she would have been a fool to have not put him and Nicole up. And Will's saying that she's become a voracious character now. So what are Will's thoughts on the eviction? So he's not sure yet. Nicole is a very caring person, but as far as his feelings for her, if she were to go, he wouldn't miss her. On Hardy, he has some mixed feelings. He was responsible for Shannon's eviction, but at the same time, they have lots of fun together. And we see Julie talk to the house guests. If Nicole, she's not going to address Will. If she stays, so Nicole, if she goes, she gets to go to the most wonderful husband in the world. If she stays, she loses her little brother, one of the more wonderful people she's met in her life, I guess. And Hardy, he gives lots of shout outs and basically just says, you gotta do what you got to do. So we get a Hardy and Nicole segment. Hardy talked about how his first time's up is with Nicole by his side. Nicole thinks if Hardy were to leave, the house would just fall to like a house of cards. Hardy's first impression of Nicole, he doesn't think she had a very good one. Saw her as a bitch on wheels, which he has some great lines, man. Nicole just kind of viewed him at the beginning as some eye candy. Will says that on the second or third day, Nicole and Hardy had started to bond, and she says that she learned that Hardy's love and respect for other people was huge. He had said that she does so much for the house and doesn't ask anything in return. I do seem to remember her asking people to clean the house, whatever. Will and his special Will music that he gets when he speaks that other people don't get says that Nicole would say she runs the house, tells people sort of what to do, and if they don't do it, she'll just sort of get Hardy to evict them. Julie talks to Manya. She has no regrets on nominations. No one seems to ever. She put them up as they're a power, and they made it clear they want to be final two. She wants to be at the end with Will. He's Chilltown, so she thinks she can beat him. And she doesn't have a preference as to who goes. So it's eviction time. Will, he has the sole vote to evict. And he decides to use that to get rid of Hardy. So Hardy finishes up in 4th place. And now Julie, she now talks to Hardy, as she does with every other evictee. He says not a lot went wrong, a lot actually went right. The HOH was unfortunate. He's not mad at Nicole. She had extraordinary circumstances. He made a mistake believing Will. And if there was something he would have back, it would be to evict Will. I think he meant in terms of Final 5 evict Will. I don't think that was a mistake. I think perhaps keeping him around at Final 7, that was the mistake. So we get to goodbyes. Will calls him an excellent competitor and appreciates who he is. Manya says that his grandma raised him well and that he's a gem. And Nicole's very sorry for the situation they were in, and that he made a very big impact on her. But he said that he's learned a lot from his time in the house, and he doesn't doubt for a second that Nicole's gonna pull this out. So, final HOH, everyone's eligible. It's gonna be 3 parts, and part 1, evicted house guests were to give a positive or negative one-word answer to describe the remaining house guests, and they had to guess who the word was describing. So the first one was, say, who does Autumn think is brave? And they all answered themselves, and Nicole got that one right. So, I'm not going to go through the list. However, at the end of it, Will is in the lead with 5. You got Nicole on 4 and Manya on 3. The top 2 after part 2 will move on to the final part of the HOH. And that will be in the next episode. I remember I kind of wanted to do like some sort of eulogies for people. I just never got to it. So for Hardy, he's a guy that I remember being incredibly high on. How it was like the first week or 2, every time he came up, I'd say, man, everything he says, I really like it. It started turning around when he said that he's going to do whatever he can to take Chilltown out, which I'm pretty sure I said anyway, it limited his options in terms of what he could do at that point. Now, while he kept Will around, which maybe nowadays wouldn't be looked so down upon, back then, at least with the people he was with, they really took your word very much seriously, at least. And I guess what it is that people didn't like was he was saying one thing and then doing the other. It was just the lack of consistency. If we look at Hardy, one thing that he was quite good at was building relationships, I would say. He did have the untouchables, which ultimately he kind of went back on. Maybe he kind of forgot. He said he wanted Krista and Monica Final 3, but he definitely said it. And then he turned on that for Nicole. Perhaps everything he was saying about, I want Chilltown out now, but I want Kent out now because I'm not liking him. Yeah, Krista and Monica will be Final 3, and then other things he's saying to people, perhaps he really did mean them in the moment. He might not have been lying. However, all the things he was saying come together and they just completely clash. And no matter which way he would eventually go, he's going to look like a massive hypocrite. So I think something that he just needed to do would have been helpful was perhaps to remember things he was saying. Maybe he did, but be very careful about also what he's saying, especially if he doesn't mean it. Because the person he's talking to, they could take that to heart, what he's saying. So even if he doesn't care about it so much, further along the line, when he goes against perhaps something he had said that he didn't care about, someone else, like a Krista, really could care about the Untouchables. And he knew she cared about it. And when Will and some other people find out about it, they can say, wow, look at this guy. He's playing everyone. Look at what he's doing. I did say it before. You take Will out at 7. You have Kent there, who you have Nicole win at 6. At that point, you can take Kent and Bunky up. You can take them out at, I don't know. But yeah, I said it. You take Will out at 7. They're going to be fine at 6. And they would still be in the final 4, while Hardy, he would be more liked than he is. There wouldn't be so much question surrounding his character. The reason that so much question goes into him about his character is that he's been, perhaps the most focal point about people's characters. He has said, wow, I've got to get rid of Shannon and Boogie. Their actions unacceptable. Kent as well. But then ultimately would keep Will around. And then, yeah. In order for Hardy to have won, he would have had to get rid of Krista at some point. And because of supposedly how beloved she is, it would have taken a hit on his character anyway. So I suppose just talking about people as if, man, I want these people at the end because they need it or whatever. Maybe just don't talk about things like that, because in order for you to win yourself, you're going to have to go against that. And I think I'll leave it at this. I really enjoyed Hardy, actually. Having him here. I remember saying very early on, he seemed like, I'll say it here, he seems like a very interesting version of, say you might get a type of character that's a meaty male, right? I think they're nowhere near as interesting as this. Ultimately, I really appreciate having Hardy here on this and being here for this whole time. The Hardy and Nicole relationship, I don't know the last time when we really got a power couple like this, you know? Yeah, it's an interesting dynamic. It's a man and a woman who aren't even a showmance, but they're a power couple just completely running the house. I think this is where I'm going to leave it with Hardy. It's where I'm going to leave it with episode 27 as well. I guess part 2 and maybe even part 3 will be in the next episode, but that's the next episode, so bye bye.